Welcome to AI News of the Week in 20 minutes or less, and usually in under 10 minutes. I'm Jonathan Green, host of the Artificial Intelligence Podcast and author of the bestseller ChatGPT Profits, the sponsor of today's video. Get it free right below this video. As always, there were dozens of stories that didn't make the cut this week. We only cover stories that affect how you can use AI to run your business. My goal is to give you as much information that is useful to your life as little time as possible. Let's get into it. Our first story of the week comes to us from Midjourney, who have finally lowered the limit on the number of images you need to create in order to be able to use their website. In the past, it was Discord only, and they first released alpha.midjourney.com for people that had generated 10,000 images. About a week and a half ago, they dropped it to 5,000. Now it's down to 1,000. That means once you've generated 1,000 images using their Discord interface, you could switch over and do everything on the website. I show you exactly how to do in this video right here. Our second story comes to us from Meta, who've announced that they're going to now label AI-generated images on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, which is very useful. It's going to help you from being tricked by deepfakes. But of course, there is one flaw. They only label AI-generated images that are made in their tools. Well, in less than 1 second, I already found a workaround, which is that I make my images in Midjourney anyways. This is a step in the right direction because the last thing we want to do is mislead people, but there's still a lot more ground to cover. Our third story comes to us from Artflow. You may notice this awesome image of me running away from an explosion wearing augmented reality glasses in a laboratory. This was made by Artflow. This is the new best tool that you can use to generate images that look exactly like your face. As you can see, in less than 1 minute, it gave me 4 really great images of me in a lab, wearing glasses in each picture, looking a little bit more muscular, a little bit younger than I am in real life, and I love it. I've been using this image generator for a while, and I'm using it to make more and more of the cover images for my thumbnails. So I hope you like what they're doing. In their image studio, you can see all the different great images they've created of me as a hacker, as a space marine with blue eyes, space armor, laser eyes, a cowboy, and even their first image of me just sitting in the office with slightly bigger muscles. I have no complaints about this one. This is a really powerful tool that allows you to create one custom character absolutely free. So of course, I trained it on my face, and I recommend you do the exact same thing. We have a demo coming up showing exactly how to do this coming out later this week. Story number 4. Google has released Gemini, and this time you can actually take it through its paces. Very different than the last time they released Gemini, which was just an announcement with a video that had actually been, unfortunately, faked. Gemini was limited regionally for the first few days, but it's already been released worldwide, so I now have access to where I live in the South Pacific, which is exciting. Very interesting to see what this tool is going to be capable of. They're making some very big claims, but again, it's the proof is in the pudding, and we'll wait to see how testing goes over the next couple of weeks to see if it can compete with ChatGPT, with Perplexity, with some of the other stronger models that have a little bit more of a track history. We're already hearing some stories that Gemini has a little bit more of a tendency to drift than other AIs. We're going to find out if that's true when I run a full deep dive test coming out later this week. The good news is you can get Gemini straight on your phone. There was some talk that it was region locked. I was able to download and activate it on my phone where I live in a foreign country in less than 10 seconds. Our next story was the inspiration for today's thumbnail. These are the glasses from Brilliant Labs coming out on April 15th that are directly connected to both Perplexity for research and for OpenAI to say, what am I looking at, and describe the things you're looking at. This is a next iteration of augmented reality. This reminds me of an app I had on my phone about 10 years ago that I could point at different constellations and it would tell me what I'm looking at in the night sky. It's a further iteration of a pretty cool idea. What's interesting to me is that a tool that claims to be so cool has such a, let's be honest, terrible image on their website. This is the worst clip arty drawing of glasses I've seen in, I'm going to say, at least 20 years. And they should be absolutely embarrassed because on the next page, the picture looks okay. You can see what the glasses actually look like in their photograph, much better than their CGI image. So fortunately, that wasn't the real thing. You can get it in several colors: smoky black, cool gray, and H2O. If you have a prescription, you can get them with the prescription lenses. Here is what the charger looks like, and I can't believe it's not a joke. It looks like those glasses used to get with a mustache underneath them as a joke, but it is what it is. These glasses are coming out officially on April 15th. At least that's the promise of when the first batch will ship. We'll see what happens when they come out, but these are interesting enough that I wanted to get them on your radar. Our next story, speaking of Perplexity, comes from their partnering with Vercel, which is opening AI search to developer apps. Now, this is something that's interesting. This is exactly what ChatGPT and OpenAI did, first with plugins, then with developing GPTs in the GPT store. Perplexity is now partnering with Vercel, which you can see right here, is a front-end cloud that allows you to build, scale, and develop personalized web apps. They have different products that allow you to build software that now can connect directly with Perplexity, who has developed their own AI. So they're no longer relying just on the GPT API and the Claude API as they started. A lot of these companies are starting to see that the future of development is external apps and third-party developers connecting directly to your app. We saw this last week happening in the open source space, which I showed in a video that you can check out right here. There's now some competition with ChatGPT's GPTs, and hopefully more and more third-party models are coming. Our next story comes to us from Apple, who hasn't really been heavy in the AI space, but they have developed something that they call the MLLM, or the multimodal language model, for instruction-based image editing. You can describe what you want to happen to change an image. For example, you can have a pizza and say, make it more healthy, and it will add vegetables to the picture of the pizza. You can say, add contrast to simulate more light, or remove a woman from the background, or let the laptop have a green web page. So you can describe modifications and edits. This is a very interesting direction, especially when we get good enough with voice to text to where you can directly describe what you want to happen in an image. Our final story is the most exciting one. There is a new king of the OpenAI heap, and his name is Smaug, and get ready for some desolation. Smaug has defeated Mixtral and Mistral, the two previous kings of the heap, in every single category. Here's what's important. Smaug is free. Open source models are putting the pressure on companies like OpenAI, Google, Facebook, and all of their models to force them to keep the price low. As long as these models keep innovating, that means that OpenAI can't raise their price, because if it goes above a certain number, then the inconvenience of setting up an open source model becomes worth it because of the amount of money you save. Very interesting to see, and we can actually see some very interesting testing score results. So here are the Hugging Face leaderboards, and Smaug has just taken over, not by a lot. It's just slightly above some previous models that were pushing up the charts, like Alpaca Dragon and a Nomo Laura model. But what's very exciting is that it's also beaten ChatGPT 3.5 in every single category. This is going to put a new pressure directly on OpenAI to accelerate their model. They've already started training GPT-5. When that happens, they're going to push GPT-4 to free, just like they did with GPT 3.5 when GPT-4 became the paid model. This is what they have to do, because right now they are not the best free version. The best free AI models are all on Hugging Face. ChatGPT 3.5 has been beaten by AI models for about the past 8 months in different categories, but now we have several different models that can consistently beat it in every single category, which means if you're someone who's never going to upgrade or pay for an AI tool, then your best solution is actually the open source AI world, because it's a better tool. It's free. The innovation continues happening there. And we have a demonstration showing exactly how you can install any of these models using LM Studio, just at the card you can see right there. That's your AI news of the week from us here at Serve No Master. As always, we give you only the information you need and none of the fluff. We'll be back next week with another episode of all the AI news you need in 20 minutes or less. Please subscribe, follow, hit the bell, whatever you have to do to get notified so you can save time every week. I read hundreds of stories and distill them down to only what you need in 20 minutes or less. This is Jonathan Green, signing off. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that video, I think you're going to like this one, or maybe even this one. Check them out.